It's time now to tackle the headline, and we're letting you in on a few of our favourites, our favourite players to commentate in Corbin's case and interview in Ralphie's case. And Corbin, I'm sure you've got favourites from right around the competition who just set things alight when you're behind the microphone. Tell us about it.
And I want to ask you about a little bit of your secret sauce. I've been trying to get him on for 5 weeks. He finally, we opened up the checkbook here. So we might ask him a few questions about his career and the best players to commentate in other ways.
I feel like I need some disclaimers here. This is my list, so I can't be wrong. These are just my
So not the best players to commentate, but just the ones that you enjoy when they get the ball.
The ones that might get him on the highlights reel there as well. Nice little brag reel stuff, the little show reel.
The five that are particularly, when they go near the footy, that's
Tom Cruise style on the couch, up you get.
So number 5, Shea Bolton, of course, former Showtime Shea, previously with Richmond, now of course with Fremantle. It's say less. Speaks for itself, doesn't it? He's a highlight reel, explosive speed. We saw it a bit on the weekend. He's everything that Fremantle need ahead of the ball. So
and how good was Adam Papalia? Yeah. Amazing blind turn. It just met the moment as well. So they need to do it, but you need to be able to call it. He was fantastic on the weekend.
I think that's it for commentators. It was really interesting hearing Jack Riewoldt and Nathan Buckley talk about that. I think Jack said it was, Dimmo always liked 80% system and 20% flair. And I feel like it would be like that for you guys too. And Shea Bolton's sort of the icing on the cake a little bit.
You can see where I'm going here with 4 and 3 on my list. There's a similar type thing.
Now, while we're here, do you get more upset when you stuff something up, which you never do, or when someone like Shea drops the car and you're like, I nailed the call,
I was
and all
on
of a sudden
Brownlow night.
Through, which makes you more upset?
Probably still the self-error. I think that still takes the cake than the
You can
players.
blame them
Sorry,
for the
I
other
digress.
stuff.
Number 4.
Yeah, 4.
Number 4 is Jack Ginnivan. So clearly Jack Ginnivan he's his own soap opera, isn't he? So to be able to have him in the game, there's always something attached to it. Usually if he's playing at home, they absolutely adore him. If he's playing away, there's a bit of stick whenever he goes near the footy. So Jack Ginnivan's high up there, sort of brings his own drama. So he's there at number 4. Number 3 is Bobby Hill. So maybe the way Collingwood play, they all get up and then they all run back. And so how often he gets out the back at the MCG. And perhaps the only thing that puts him over the top here is the fact that there's 80,000 people roaring every single time that he goes near the ball. So Bobby Thrill, he's particularly engaging. So we love when Bobby gets the opportunity running out the back and running towards goal.
And he's often one-on-one too. Who are the players that you would confuse a little bit? Deep in the pack there. This bloke's got a bit of shoulder tape. He's got pink boots.
Yeah.
What's the challenge of calling those ones?
Yeah, it's trying to find some kind of distinguishable feature. So whether it is boots or sort of mannerisms, running, left foot, right footers, I usually have a pretty good indication, or try to before the game starts, as to, he's a lefty, he's a right footer, to be able to give you another clue. But
any of your stuff up?
Yeah, of course.
I don't mean, have you ever made a mistake, but which is the one you're like, there's 2 players there from that team and they're very, a couple of GWS players.
The Richmond guys, actually. I did the Tigers on the weekend. Yep. There's a few guys at Richmond, particularly because they're new and they've got sort of similar style.
How dare you?
Short brown hair, and they all kind of look a little bit similar, so you've got to take extra caution with
They've all got those same haircuts too these days. Don't we sound old? Hey, tell us who's been edged for number 1. Who sits at 2?
Number 2 is Nick Dacos. So, I mean, he's fast rising up this list, but I think if you're the best first-year player, then the best second-year player we've ever seen, then the best third-year player we've ever seen, and miss out on the Brownlow by a couple of votes, and you're fast having a good case. If he keeps going on this trajectory, he might just be just about the best player that we've ever seen. So he's phenomenal, Nick Dacos. So he's number 2. And number 1, this is absolutely with personal bias, Zach Butters. I love Zach Butters.
Because he punches on all the time and gets fines.
He plays, he's a little guy that plays like a big guy. He sort of zips in and out. And it's interestingly, like in things like the NBA, for example, they talk about Steph Curry, how he's got this extra fandom and support base that comes with him, particularly with younger people, because they see the little guy out there on the court and they think, oh, that guy's similar size to me. He can do it with all the big, giant adults. And I feel like Zach has great marketability for that reason as well. And just love the way that he goes about it and plays. Plus, he can produce the highlights and he's tough and hard at it.
Good pun opportunity too for a bit of sort of butters up, things like that for a commentator. Hey, Ralphie, you're on sort of the other side of it. We're getting them to talk into a dictaphone rather than us, talking into a microphone in Corbin's case. Who do you love? Because it's not often the biggest names at a club or the skipper, because they're so media trained these days, but you sort of want someone who's going to give you a little something.
Well, I like Toby Green, because as we know with Toby, you never know what he's going to say. He's a little bit loose every now and then, but also it means that he's authentic because he hasn't been media trained. So I love Toby Green. Every time you go up there to GWS, they're so open and so prepared to throw open their doors. So Toby Green is absolutely fantastic. Well, another one's Christian Petracca. Again, very hard to get him. Normally has to be a Red Bull commercial these days, but he's so raw. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's so emotional. He's so invested, and so you just know that it means so much to him, as we saw with his reaction to that loss against Geelong. Mason Cox, he is the Matty Scarlett of the new era, and what I mean by that is that rain, hail or shine, they can win, they can lose, he can have a stinker, and he's prepared to have a chat. You know, he got smashed by, was it Josh Bruce? He got smashed in that collision the other day. He was more than happy to have a chat. You know, I asked him about his cheekbone. He said it was fine. He's just always happy. He does get criticised quite heavily by different people, but, you know, I think he mostly allows that to just be water off a duck's back, and I just love his attitude.
I had him a few years ago when he first got the glasses, and, you know, we sort of had a little bit of a chat about it, and he sort of could see where I was going with it. And it ended up being Mason that hooked me up with the Colac optometrist who was making the glasses and sending them all over Australia. And awesome. I think Mason sent me a photo of them together, and he was almost invested in the story as much as we were, and it almost made it.
Yeah. Jamie Elliot's one which is much harder to get. I managed to have a chat to him for a feature in Friday's Herald Sun. Didn't want to really talk, but when you do get a chance to talk to him, spoke to him before a grand final about, you know, the people who had helped him in his journey. Again, he's raw, he's emotional, he's quietly spoken, and then you look at the quotes and you go, he's so considered. So he's into the leadership group for the first time. I'm looking forward to writing that feature. And the other one's Tom Papley. You know, superstar of the game, again, authentic. He's got a powerful backstory. He was so keen to get back to Carlton, had great reasons for it, and he's, you know, able to tell that in a really eloquent way and follows up with you, gives you the thumbs up on social media when he's happy with the article. So, yeah, blokes like that are good. Quickly for me, your best call, the one you went, I nailed that one. And was it an Ovens and Murray grand final? Or?
It's certainly what I don't have one off the top of my head, to be honest. But
biggest moment that you've covered, not in terms of you, but the you know, the Olympics or AFL grand finals.
Able to cover the Olympics last year, which was a great privilege, and then I think I've done the last 3 AFL grand finals. So as a little kid, that was always a bucket list item. So
I didn't see you out there at the hockey in north of Paris. It didn't seem like you were covering things on a different spectrum to me.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And just finally, for all those out there that would say, who calls the big moments there? You know, the tap on the shoulder when the time's ticking down and they can see that there's one kick in it and one bloke just keeps talking and doesn't have a gap in play. Take us through the politics of that.
So it's generally somewhere between, I think, 30 to 40 seconds. 45 seconds is the mark. So, or there's a stoppage or ball's out of bounds.
You know what I'm saying here?
Yeah, try and hand it over. And there are a few in the game that try and manage the clock and the seconds coming down and get in and out at the same time. But
the seniority really, you know, is Jared going to get it or is Hutto going to get it?
My mental maths isn't strong enough to be able to manage the manage the seconds well enough towards the back end.
Oh, fantastic insight from both of you. Two of the very best at your craft. Ralphie, we'll let you get back to hitting the phones. We'll let you get back to preparing your lines for this weekend if Port and Hawthorn are separated by a point in the dying moments in that game. That's it for us. Tackle the Headline. We'll see you next time.